Hey guys, it's me with a new I Am Fun Size from a very new location. Yes, I am in the bathtub. For a few reasons, I'm doing this video from here. One of which is I happened to be inspired and clear on the message that I have been working through sharing with you guys today while I was in the bathtub. So I like to grab inspiration when I have it. And also because it's an oddly uncomfortable position for me to be in. And I think that applies a lot to today's question as well. So I got a very interesting question and email from a young lady named Danielle. And it's something that I wanted to take my time and really sink my teeth into because I think it's really exciting and really important and can be really scary. So let me read her question directly to you. Here we go. I'm 21 now, and I'm starting this year to study at college and work with what I love. When it comes to doing some academic work, that's less hard, but for real work, like real people that hire me, I underestimate myself too much. I have in my head that I learned what I knew in college with the best teachers, I did exercises, had exams, my grades are great, but when it comes to applying all of that for real, I suddenly get insecure. I get myself together and do it anyway, and the results are often great, but still I have this feeling every time in every work I do. I have this big feeling of failure. If I say I know I can do this and in the end I can't, I'll let people down and they'll never trust me again for doing something like that in the future. So I end up not taking risks, and that sucks because later when it's all done by someone else, I realize that I could really do it, but I didn't. So I'm sending you this email to ask what I'm supposed to think and how I'm supposed to act when I get this feeling again. And if you already have a video on the channel about this, please let me know, and I'd love to watch it. So I will put a link in this video for you, Danielle, and for everyone else, a link to my videos, Judgment versus Evaluation and Mistakes versus Failures. And I think they're two separate videos. They might be the same video. I don't exactly remember. But check those out after you listen to this, too, because they're a little simpler way of saying what I'm about to say. And this is going to be a long one, so buckle up. So other than when we are actually fearing for our lives, which is rare in today's day and age, we're usually not running from a tiger or, falling from a building or something that actually is a life or death situation. When we have these fears of something come up, a lot of times our brain doesn't really know the difference between that particular fear and the fear of something terrifying like being attacked by a tiger. Sometimes our brain interprets experiences based on our past, interprets them as scary as that. And this definitely happens for people when they are afraid of disappointing people or people abandoning them or not loving them anymore or not trusting them anymore. It's something that's sort of built into us, a lot of us, from our experiences, because we all crave that connection. We all crave that approval from other people. And that, to an extent, provides us with a level of safety. So that all goes to say that this is a very normal thing. This is not a flaw. This is your subconscious brain doing exactly what it is built to do, which is protect you and keep you alive. And so far, everything that it's doing is right because you're alive and you're listening to this video. The trick is training our subconscious to know what is a real threat and to know what is just a perceived threat. And a lot of times the fear that keeps us from doing something that we've never done before, and that then leads us to say, oh, I can't do it, or I shouldn't do it, or what if this person thinks this? That fear is, because it's just a learned behavior, is something that we can unlearn by putting something else in its place. So what else do you put in its place? Well, for me, it's a two-part process. First, I just go straight to the worst case scenario. Immediately, I'm like, okay, well, yes, I could die. Chances are I'm not going to die from embarrassment, or I'm not going to die because someone doesn't like my work or I disappoint someone. Chances are that's not going to happen. So what's the next worst case scenario? For you, it may be different things. It could be rejection. It could be I lose my job. It could be this. It could be that. Okay, you go to that worst case scenario and breathe through it and think about, is that the end? Is that the end of everything? And chances are it's not. Now, take that worst case scenario and put it here. Okay. Then over here, I want you to look at, why do I want to do the thing? What is driving me? If it's just other people's approval, chances are that drive is not enough to sustain you, because you will always be seeking other people's approval, and you will be on this constant treadmill of trying to impress other people. It happens a lot in the acting business and for artists, but I think it happens for all of us. When we are seeking approval outside ourselves, that's kind of a never-ending trap, and you are dependent on other people for your well-being. You don't want to be there. But if you look past that, usually that desire to impress other people is for something more of a core belief. It's, I desire security, I desire love, I desire this, I desire that. Also, when you are looking at the reasons for wanting to do this something, look at reasons that aren't that obvious. And in this particular case, I want to bring up a personal story that I actually never really thought I would share, but I think in this instance it's very useful, because I underestimate myself all the time, and one of the ways I get past that, even though I'm terrified, is by saying yes to scary things. So a few years ago, I was having a lot of trouble with my voice. I'm a singer. I have sung for most of my life. I've done Broadway, I've done opera, I've done musicals. But for whatever reason, I was not singing at the time. I was having a lot of trouble with my voice, and I was feeling very, 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 very insecure. And obviously, as an actor, that's also my instrument. So I was constantly a little bit terrified of what was going on. At that time, I got an audition for the musical Waitress on Broadway. And in the room for said audition would be the casting director and Sarah Bareilles, who created the musical, but also happens to be one of my just most revered artists and humans. There's something about her energy and the things that she creates and the way she writes her songs and the way she sings that just touches a heart chord in me and inspires me in very unique ways. So I got this audition, and my first thought was, I can't. My voice is broken. I can't sing anymore. I haven't sung. I'll have to fly out to New York, and I'll embarrass myself, and I probably won't even book the job anyway. And I'm saying these things to myself, and I'm hearing all these worst case scenarios. And when I stopped and thought about, okay, well, what happens if you do? If you do, the worst case scenario is you embarrass yourself and they never call you back in for this audition again, for this casting office again. Okay, you're not dead. That is not a great outcome. Best case scenario, you book the job. Unlikely, but that's a thing. But best case scenario for me, for myself, not for outside approval, is that I prove to myself that I can do it. I prove to my agents, my new agents, that I can do it. So they continue to send me these great auditions for leading roles on Broadway. And I get a chance to meet this incredible artist and tell her how special she is, and hopefully get to convey to her how much what she does means to me. So I began the process of working on this audition, and it was it was a very emotional process. My husband's a musician, and we lived in a tiny apartment at the time, and I told him, you have to go in the other room, and I'm going to put on my headphones and sing, and just please say nothing to me about it. Let me sing. Don't tell me it's good. Don't tell me it's bad. Just don't even listen. And I started singing, and I'm crying, and I'm shaking, and I'm terrified of what it sounds like, and just pushing through a level of fear that I haven't had as a performer in my entire life. And so I pushed through that, and I kept working on it, and I took a lesson with my coach at the time and all of this, and I prepared as best I could for the audition. And then I flew to New York, and I went and saw the show, and it's beautiful. And when I saw it, I also realized, okay, this role is probably not for me. I'm very glad that they're willing to see me for it, but for a number of reasons that I have assessed, I get that I am probably not right for this role. So the cool thing is that gave me permission to go in and just sing it my way, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to replicate what the woman on stage was doing. So I get to this audition, and I'm nervous, and I realized ahead of time that I would probably be so nervous that I wouldn't be able to say everything I wanted to say to Sarah. So I wrote her a card before I went to the audition. I wrote a handwritten card and brought it with me. And I went in for the audition, and she was very gracious, and casting was very gracious. And I sang fine. For me, I was nervous, so it wasn't my best work, but I felt like, okay, I survived it, and I didn't blow it, and I got through it and it sounded reasonably good, so cool. And they were super sweet about it, very complimentary, and then I went on my way. And as I was leaving outside, I gave the letter, the card, to the person who was bringing people in the room for the audition, because I didn't want to do it in the room. So I went home, didn't really think about it, just gave myself the pat on the back that, okay, you did it, and you gave her this card, and so you accomplished what you set out to do. And no one laughed at you, and no one laughed you out of the room, and if they thought you sucked, they didn't tell you, so great. You have achieved what you came out here to achieve. Fine, I did that. Well, a few weeks later, I got an email from my agent, from the casting director, or through my agent from the casting director, saying Anjali gave Sarah this card when she came into audition for waitress, and Sarah wanted to make sure that she got this message. And it was a very kind message saying thank you so much for everything you said about my art and the things that I create. And then she went on to say, it means so much coming from someone as talented as you. You sang beautifully and with so much heart, and please continue doing your art and all of these lovely things. And I still have the email sitting on my computer desktop. So, it's a very long story. And why am I telling it? Because if I had underestimated myself and let it stop me from going out there, I would not have received this incredible gift from the universe and from this very gracious, incredible artist who said, we're peers, you know, you are an artist as well, and you are talented, and I see that in you. And that kind of validation, more so than the job, mattered more to me than booking it. And you know, I think we all know that our idols being able to say these things to us, or getting a chance to tell them and getting a chance to talk to them, means a lot to all of us. And for me, it's no different. And I think for people at any level, it's no different. We all want to hear that we are okay and that we're safe and that we're good, but we're not always going to get that back from the universe. We are certainly not going to get it back if we don't say yes. And if we scare ourselves into paralysis and let other people step forward who may not even be as talented as you are, or as smart as you are, or as anything as you are, but they stepped forward and they put their energy out there and they said, here I am, I'm doing my thing, and my thing is unique and no one else can do it because it's me. That right there, incidents like that and others in my life have taught me that I may not know what great thing is going to come from me saying yes to this, from me doing the scary thing, from me working past my fear. I may not know what's going to come, but I believe that it's going to be more powerful than whatever that worst case scenario could be. And chances are the worst case scenario is not going to happen. And even if it does, chances are it's not as bad as I perceive it in my head, because fear tends to make us think that bad things, quote unquote, happening are going to be worse than they are. Tends to. So that's my very long answer. Open yourself up to the possibility not only that you are good enough to do the thing, maybe good enough to do the thing incredibly well. Not only that, but that it is a service to you and to the people around you, that you are putting yourself out there, this unique person who has this unique thing to give. And you will learn from it, and you will learn from mistakes, and you will learn from failures. But a lot of times those things will lead to something amazing coming your way just because you put yourself out there. And especially, this is for you specifically, Danielle, and for people who are young and just putting themselves out there for some of the first times in their life, especially when you're young. This is the time to prove to yourself that you can survive it, because you can. My favorite thing to remind myself of when I'm doing a final dress rehearsal or a first preview or an opening night of a play is, as long as nobody dies, this is a success. It sounds like it's a really low bar, but it frees me to be open to any possibilities of something being incredible, instead of having these expectations of what good enough looks like. So there you go. That is my now very sweaty I am fun size on this topic. If you have any more questions, or any of you have any more questions, please write to me at Anjali@IamFunsize.com. I love talking to you guys. I love sharing stories with you. I love hearing your stories. And most of all, I love hearing the ways you take this show or web series, or you take something that you might have heard here from me or someone else, you take it into your lives and you turn it into something really, really cool. When I meet people at conventions or all around the world who say that, it means so much to me, because you have more power and more ability and more beauty and more strength than you probably can see in yourself. So let the world have the experience of seeing it, even if you can't, because we need it. It's uniquely you, and without you, we don't get to have it, and that would be a tragedy. Okay, I'm gonna go dry off now, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Bye.
All right, you beautiful people, send me your stuff. You can email me at Anjali@IamFunsize.com. These are all of the places you can find me on the interwebs. Please send me questions, pictures, fan art, cosplay pictures. Send me pictures of puppies. You know how I love the puppies. Oh, please, please, more puppies.
Can I please? Please, guys, please.